Not published yet. No, well, it's published. It's published, yes. So it says published, so that is what carries it.
Okay.
Does this, and I'll show you what to do when you're done. So I'll have to share with you a bunch of those stuff. I'll show you running after it. I'll show you how it has instructions.
Thank you. Okay. My concern is more if something happens to start firing on I heard people say that.
All the way up to DNA. Well, no, I have what the fifth cousins. But they do it for
When we both did the ancestry, he saw, this is really interesting, and he looked and saw, I matched to him, and I checked, no, he looked, he matched to him, and I looked, I matched to him. Very good. I can't go past something. I know my grandfather, because it is, I don't like to wait that long. That's it. But I have no idea, I just found, we just had an hour long, telephone call,
Just wanted to check this over this.
All
right.
But I spoke to him, and he put my translator on the phone, and Tobias's mother only speaks Spanish. The phone call was over.
Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So this is Shabbat Shuvah. This is the invitation for us to return again. Shabbat Shuvah is the name that is given for the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Usually, I feel like it comes somewhere in between, in the middle of the two. It feels a little like, whoa, what happened when we were just together, some of us this morning, for our second day Rosh Hashanah service, but here we are. It is the middle of this season, Yamim Noraim, the days of awe. And this Shabbat, we are invited to feel as if the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are not two separate holidays, but are joined together by this period of these days in between, these intermediary days. And so we are invited to continue thinking about the themes of changing, turning, making ourselves into the best people we can be. And you'll hear throughout our service tonight, in addition to some of the Shabbat melodies, some little snippets of the high holiday melodies and prayers as well, as we mingle those things together. So let's begin by turning to page 121, our prayer book. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. And so we will welcome in Shabbat together now. On page 120, we'll begin with the candlelight. Robin Jacobson, come on down.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn the page to page 122. And we prepare to taste the sweetness of Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Now to Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon v'chivanu, zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila le'midrash kodesh, zecher tziviyat mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, v'otanu kiddashta, mikol ha'olim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava u'ratzon inchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh haShabbat. Amen.
I am. Thank you. We continue to welcome Shabbat on page 138 as we sing a song as if to invite the presence of Shabbat to come here with us. And this, of course, these words of L'chadu culminate in the last stanza. The last stanza where we rise and we welcome Shabbat, as if Shabbat has been making its or her way towards us. And then we say, Boi, come in, Shabbat. We're ready for you.
L'chadudi likrat kalai yalalai 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 ne Shabbat ne kabbalah. L'chadudi likrat kalai yalalai 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 ne Shabbat ne kabbalah. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ולכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. בואי לשלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה יללה יללה, לשבת לקבלה.
Shabbat has arrived, and let's see if we can find the evidence of it on each other's faces. Turn to someone you haven't talked to yet this evening, perhaps you haven't met. Wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Page 146, we are invited to join together in worship for the words of the Baruch. Join me as we welcome in the evening, page 148. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yitbaro ma'ariv ha'arvim, v'chokhmah potech sha'arim, v'vitvana meshameh etim, v'machalif et hazmanim, v'misader et hakochavim, v'mishparotehem barakia kirtzonam, borei yom v'layla, v'lel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, Ma'avir yom u'mevi lala, Ma'atil ben yom u'ben lala, Adonai tzeva'ot shalom. El chai v'chayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ari v'ma'aravi. 150. Ahavat olam, everlasting love. You offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, eternal God, when we lie down, when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments forever. rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing the right things in our days.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אור שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושנתם לבניך ודיברת עליהם בשבתך בביתך ובמלאכתך בדרך ובשבתך ובקומך, ושבתם לראות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 157. This holiday of the season of the Days of Awe is a far time on the calendar from the season of freedom, the holiday of Passover. And yet, the more we can do to make ourselves better, the more we can return to the best we can be, to our own true selves, the more liberation we feel, the more we are able to act to make a world a better place. Let's read responsibly at the bottom of the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory, may earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame aggressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has also been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace.
Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, לא רוטילות וספלת, מלכותך לבניך, וכהיום לפני משה, Adonai
V'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace. Raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace we pray is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Yerushalayim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
V'shamem b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, v'dorotam v'rit olam, v'nei b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, uvayom ha'shvi'i Shabbat vayinash.
We are told, pray as if everything depended on God, act as if everything depended on you. We pray today and throughout this period of the days of awe to talk to God, but also, importantly, to renew who we are and what we can do in the world, our sense of agency. So as we turn together to tefillah now with the high holiday inserts woven in, let's use this prayer as a stepping stone to be the best we can be. Page 164, please rise. Adonai Svatai Tivtach Ufi Yagi Tehillatach. Eternal God, open up my lips and my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah, Elohim, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei HaKol, Bezocher Chasdeot Ve'imot, Ubevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shalom V'Ahava, Zochrein L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim, V'chodveinu b'sefer HaChaim,
Please be seated. Let's turn to the top of 173 for our prayer for Shabbat. Join me if you wish. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Shabbat. Praise the eternal one who gives us these moments of Shabbat. On page 176, we find our familiar prayer for gratitude. Those of us who were together this morning had an elongated section where we noticed all the blessings all around us and gave thanks for the many things that we could see outdoors that maybe we don't always see inside, or that we could see when we slow down that we may not always see when we're rushing through the everyday pieces of our lives. So I'm going to invite you, we're going to read this prayer together in just a moment, but let's get there internally first, and see if there is some gratitude that you can conjure up. It could be for one specific thing right now, or maybe it's just in general. I think somebody said earlier today, just the gift of life, the gift of every breath, something to be grateful for. So just take a moment. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. Inscribe all the children of your covenant for a good life on this Shabbat Shuvah. God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai,
Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasi Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasi Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ha'shalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ha'shalom. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. Bechol beit u'bechol sha'ar yishlomecha. V'sefer chaim beracha v'shalom. Beracha v'shalom u'farnasa tova. Beracha v'shalom yizhacher nikatim lefanecha. Anachnu v'chol amcha beit Yisrael l'chaim tovim u'shalom. Baruch atah Adonai aseh shalom.
Peace of this place. Let's take a few moments for our own private prayers as we turn to our prayers and silence.
Oseh shalom, shalom yiramav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu, le'akol Yisrael ve'inu amen. U'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Amen.
now to those who are in need of our prayers for healing. Some here among us, some in our greater extended temple family, and those everywhere around the world who are suffering. From our own temple community, we pray for the health, the continued healing, the well-being of Jamie Lippin-Mabish, Eileen Andak, Ellen Bassett, Benjamin Menachem Frank, Carolyn Barone, Jane Bernstein, Arnold Block, Dennis Brenner, Jack Cases, Nora Correa, Toby Domash, Susan Zietzik, Janet Ewing, Kelly Fink, Arthur Fisher, Judy Fisher, Michelle Fisk, Evan Foster, Sandra Goldberg, Florence Goldring, Stephen Goldstein, Jean Gormley, Elise Grace Lee Hawley, Marilyn Heckler, Nate Hirsch, Matthew A. Hood, Dacia Harwitz, Phyllis Horn, Stephen Israel, Toby Israel, Christine Jacobson, Jeanette Jamal, Roberta Kahn, Louis Kaufman, Tatiana Koltunyak, Michael Constant, Esther Krachevsky, Dylan Levisi, Lawrence Landy, Sandy Lay, Gail Levy, Paul Lipson, Aidan Maletsky, Robert Mandel, Robert Mannix, Barbara Massey, Susan Miller, Ashley Moranti, Adam Moranti, Mira Shulamit Matbela, Patrice Newman, Nora Tsibora Bativana, Andrew O'Donnell, Carla Osuna, Sophia Palladino, Esther Parker, Berlinda Piscatori, Father Pfeffer, Ben Pilch, Rabbi Lester Bolonsky, Dean Powell, Carol Ryder, Julie Rosenberg, Laura Rosenspan, Renee Rosenthal, Jamie Rudick, Sylvie Rudell, Adele Schoner, Hannah Rachel Bat Miriam, Charlotte Miriam Schnupp, Claire Shapiro, Jeffrey Schoenholz, Marjorie Schoenholz, Edmund Steiner, Faye Strobel, Rhoda Strobel, Tova Bat Shifra, Arlene Iris Wisson, Jeff Young, and Shirley Young. I invite you to add other names to those we've shared aloud, if you so desire. Barbara.
Joyce, Gail, and Esther.
Eternal God, be with all of those who are suffering. Bring them each to their own healing, their own refuah, refuah nefesh, refuah guf, healing of body, mind, and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeach haolam. Praise you, Holy One, the source of all healing. Page 371 is where you'll find our prayer in this morning.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I think all the talking is getting to me, so forgive me if my voice is a little bit raspy. So here we are in this period of the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, this time where we're invited to work on ourselves and our breathing. Of course, there are many different ways we do this. We apologize to others. We ask for forgiveness from others, from God, God's self, for those things that we feel we've done wrong. We've spent some time soul searching for our own sake, to say, what are the goals that I'd like to achieve, haven't yet met? Or what are my dreams that I could make come true? One of the things that we have the opportunity to think about is something that we studied a few years ago called Musar literature, which are these different qualities, these different traits, soul characteristics they're sometimes called, that help us to just kind of hone and sharpen who we are. So tonight I just wanted to share a few words about one of those soul traits. And it happens to be right above me on the ark. So they are words that we've said together already this high holiday season, and we'll revisit them again on Yom Kippur. But if you see the words right above our ark, say Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum V'Chanun. This is a quote, if you don't know. It's from the book of Exodus, and here's the setting for it. Moses has come down from the mountain, having received the tablets from God, and sees that the people are worshiping the golden calf. Right? So they're in the midst of the worst avera, the worst sin, right? Idol worship. And so he smashes the tablets. He goes back to God. He's called back up. But he has a chance to have a vision of God. And he describes what are sometimes called the 13 attributes or qualities of God. And these are two of them. There's more that goes on in the rest of the quote. But God is a God of Rahum and Chanun. Chanun means grace, and Rahum is compassion. Compassion is the piece that I want us to focus on a bit tonight. So obviously, it's a characteristic of God to be compassionate. And it is one of the touchstone prayers that we return to over and over again in the high holidays. So even that setting in the Torah, Moses sees God as being compassionate to the people after they have sinned. So already it's connected to this idea of judgment. Right? So here's some things for us to think about compassion. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch was the founder of the movement of Orthodoxy back in the 19th century, wrote, "Compassion is the feeling of empathy, which the pain of one being of itself awakens in another. And the higher and more human the beings are, the more keenly attuned are they to re-echo the note of suffering, which like a voice from heaven penetrates the heart." So for Hirsch, compassion is a feeling. Rachamim is empathy, right? It's the way that we can understand someone else's feeling and feel it along with them. So that's a nice place to begin, that idea of compassion. And you may see the roots of that in the word itself. Hebrew speakers amongst us will note that the word rachamim is connected to the word rechem. Right? Indeed, rachamim is almost like the plural of rechem. Rechem is a wound. And so, that image of compassion being empathy is likened to the image of particularly a mother towards her child, but really any parent towards their child. That sense of really such caring that you feel that overwhelming sense of love and that sense of caring. Compassion, rachamim, is also connected to the idea of creation. There's a midrash that goes as follows. A king had some fragile glass cups, and he said to himself, if I pour hot water in these cups, they're going to expand and they'll break. If I pour cold water in these cups, they're going to contract and they will shatter. So what did he do? He mixed hot water with cold water and poured the mixture into the cups, and they did not break. this midrash is seen as a metaphor for compassion on one side and deen on the other. Deen is strict judgment. So God says, if I create the world with just harsh judgment, right? Yom HaDin is one of the names for Rosh Hashanah. If I only care about judging people, did you do the right thing or not? Are you wrong or right? The world will shatter. It will not last. Right? On the other hand, if I create the world only with rachamim, with this idea of compassion and that overflowing, abundant love, people will feel like they have a get-out-of-jail-free card, right? A free license to do anything they want. And so people won't go crazy, right? So what God says God needs to do is to combine deen and rachamim, justice, strict justice and compassion together and get that lukewarm water with which the world will live. That teacher, Alan Marinis, who was one of the primary teachers of Musar, kind of builds on these definitions in a way that I like very much. He says that compassion is not just a feeling. It's not just about empathy. He says this: the sole trait of compassion may be more accurately defined as the inner experience of touching another being so closely that you no longer perceive the other one as separate from you. The two are made one as the baby in the mother's womb. In that state of inner identification, feelings will be shared as fully as if they were your own. You will leap to care for the other as naturally as you care for yourself, because the other is no longer other. And later on, he uses an analogy, which many of you have heard this. Like, if your toe hurts, if you stub your toe, you don't go, oh, poor toe, and feel where you run to action, right? Your toe, you feel your toe hurting, it's you, it's part of you, and you rush to take care of it, put it in cold water or whatever else you do. And so too, he says that that kind of closeness, that kind of sense of feeling as if other people are us, that leads us to rush to help some compassion. And he says it's more than a feeling. It's not just I empathize and I feel your pain. That's a good start. But it's also I feel your pain and I'm compelled to act because you are like me. So that's a beautiful image that I am carrying with myself as I think about what it is that I want to improve in myself. And I'll share just one more thing. This also comes from Alan Marinis and comes back to that idea of deen, of judgment, and rachamim together. Marinis says that judgment, deen, is based on our actions, right? Avinu Malkeinu, we say, Ein banu ma'asim, please God, be gracious to us, even though we don't have anything to show for it, right? We're not really deserving of that. But compassion, he says, is not based on what we've done or what we haven't done. So I'm going to read you his words. Compassion has us believe that a person is inherently holy and has the capacity to change. So the deeds we might find ourselves judging do not really reflect who a person is at the core, nor who they could be. As a result, compassion has us see a person more favorably than his or her deeds currently warrant. Said a different way, judgment assesses a person based on the reality of who he or she is now, while compassion recognizes as well a person's soul nature. That's how compassion offsets the force of judgment. So rachamim, in this time of judgment, this season of the 10 days of awe, as people come to you and ask for your forgiveness, perhaps bring your compassion to bear on them. See not just their faults, and do not just judge them on what they have done, but open yourself to who they are and their connection to you. And while you're at it, do the same for yourself. While you're busy judging yourself and seeing all those things or you've missed the mark, or you haven't quite been who you want to be, again, apply some of that rachamim. Marinus and others have noted that rachamim is the only one of the midot, of those musar characteristics, that's in the plural. And maybe this is to remind us that we can take all of the plurals in the world and bring them together and envelop them in compassion. And that includes us as well as everyone else. King Hiratson, may do so. We're going to turn back in our prayer book now. Please join us on page 586. I invite you to rise as we open the ark for Our Lady.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת קדמה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגולי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העולם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love to each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
Vayom ha'u yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
Page 594. So I believe are the words of Walt Whitman. I'll have to check that. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24, and each moment then. In the faces of men and women, I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoever I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth. Our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, whose graves are unmarked, those of every race and every nation, whose lives have been a blessing to all of humanity. Let's remember them, give thanks for the vision of God that they have given us, and for the legacy they leave us. If any of you are observing a yahrzeit or in the period of Shabbat Shloshim, or simply want to share a name of a loved one, I invite you to rise and do that now.
Great.
Thank you, Gabe. And in this period of yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing, we remember the following beloved Temple Tikvah family members. We remember Hyman Bieber, grandfather of Jay Bieber, Ludwig Bloch, the father of Henry Bloch, Leo Brown, husband of Doris S. Brown, Lawrence Feitel, uncle of Lois Howard, Harry Friedman, father of Marjorie Ornstein, Harvey Garson, friend of Doris S. Brown, Dr. Ira Gold, father of Marilyn Gold Mandel, Herbert Goldschmidt, father of Martin Goldschmidt, Samuel Grossman, father of Muriel Gorocho. Louis Levine, father of Stephen Levine. Bella Newman, mother of Terry Goldstein. Teresa Reisman, mother of Elaine Lassner and Stephen Reisman. Fred Schachter, father of Edward Schachter. Harry Schwartz, brother of Joyce Braun Stoner. And Charles Wiener, father-in-law of Joan. Zichronam livracha. May the righteous always be remembered for blessing. To the names of those we know, we also add the memories of those who perished in the recent casualty in the recent war in Israel and who have lost their lives due to the hurricane and in other places around the world that are seeing violence and unrest. Zichronam livracha. Let us turn together to page 598 as we rise as one community to remember them all. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach v'yotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chol v'yomei v'chayei chol b'yet Yisrael, v'adalat v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach v'le'olam v'lamei amayah. Yitvarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei t'kusha b'richu. La'ela mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam ha'rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. V'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol Yishvei Tevel, v'yimru, amen.
Osa shalom v'ramav, v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen.
Please be seated. And let's hear tonight's BEMA officer, Sandy Peskin. Thank you, Sandy.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi and Cantor, for a lovely service tonight. I just have a few short announcements. Torah study will be both in person and via Zoom tomorrow morning beginning at 9:15 a.m. Choir rehearsal on the mark and cardio core and more will meet in their regular time this week. Please note that next Friday, the Kol Nidre Shabbat service will begin at 7 p.m. Make sure to read the High Holiday Service information email for the times for all the Yom Kippur services. I'd like to remind you that we are holding a High Holiday food drive again this year. A flyer with suggested food items for donation is in the weekly update. Non-perishable food items will be accepted throughout the coming week, and of course you can bring them with you when you attend services next weekend. Many events have been scheduled to commemorate October 7th, but I would like to call your attention to two of them. This Sunday, October 6th at 3:30 p.m. at Temple Bethel, several local congregations will be gathered to jointly commemorate this tragic day. The event will feature the Sheranu Choir of Long Island. For security purposes, advanced registration is required, so please check your updates for the flyer and make sure you RSVP on that. On Tuesday, October 8th, beginning at 8 p.m., there will be a URJ-sponsored Zoom screening of Screams Before Silence. It's a documentary film on the sexual violence committed by Hamas on October 7, 2023, followed by a Zoom panel of speakers discussing the film. Please read through the flyers in the weekly update for more information on these two events and for information on the many other activities going on after the holidays. Future activities include Sukkot and Simchas Torah events. The Sisterhood paid a membership brunch. The Brotherhood sponsored tickets to the Islander Games and other notable local October 7th commemorations. Just want to take this opportunity to wish everyone a healthy and happy New Year and say Lashana Tova to all of you.
So immediately after we sing our final song, we're going to say Hamotzi here and go upstairs and enjoy a little bit of an oneg together. So let us end the way we began with a reminder that this cycle continues, that we have the ability to return to who we are, to the place where we can renew ourselves on this Shabbat.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem mi'haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Chatzima Tova, Shana Tova.